to have to a company code. We need to assign one input tax code and one output tax code to each of the company code for which we want to use the fixed assets. That is the required, that is the mandatory thing. So either you will assign here the input tax and output tax here, or you have one more place you can do it from here as well. In the financial accounting global settings, tax on sales purchases, and here in the postings, yes, assign tax codes for non-taxable transactions. You can use it from here. I'm just executing. Here for every company code, you will be assigning one input and one output tax code. You can see similar transaction here as well. See, assign input to tax indicator for non-taxable acquisition, just execute. Here 1248, you will be assigning the same. For input, we have V0, which is a standard one. For output, we have A0, just press enter, okay, and just save. Done. Okay, so if you really want to create both of them, we will have to create in FTXP. This is the one that we have already seen. This is the one that we have already seen. Okay, so you can go here in financial accounting global settings, tax on sales purchases, here FTXP, define tax codes for sales and purchases, just execute. The transaction code is FTXP. FTXP is the transaction code, and V0, let me select V0 and I will say 0% input to tax, and the tax type going to be V for input. Similarly, I will do A0, 0% output tax, and A, just save it. Now you can go back here and comfortably you can maintain V0 and A0, just save it. So it is required to have a input tax code and output tax code for a particular company code which we want to consider for fixed assets. Now after this, we can go back and we can assign chart of depreciation to company code. Just select the same thing. For this, we have 1001. Save it. Done. So we don't require we don't require to have in the ledgers. We have what ledgers? We have leading ledger, we have non-leading ledger, and we have extension ledgers. So extension ledgers are not required. Only we require leading and non-leading ledger. That's the one thing. And in the case of parallel currencies, you will have to maintain the relevant depreciation areas. Remember the point to copy it one depreciation from depreciation area one only. And you will have to change the accounting principle accordingly. Okay, so the one which are not required, we will have to the depreciation areas which we don't require, so we can delete them. So double click here on this, just press enter. So I don't want all of them, so I can delete all of them. So delete number of entries 7, and here there is nothing. Earlier we had some error, I think because of that screen locking or something. That's it. So we just have only these. And if you try to delete them, you can delete them, but you will have errors at the time of running the depreciation. System will not allow you to do any transaction. We require definitely the depreciation areas for parallel currencies. Any questions?
Nanda, we wanted to understand, like, if we can go back to the depreciations area, and there are, some fields which we need to understand.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you can, just guide us on that or give us some knowledge.
In which area you want to go deeper?
Depreciation area,
This one?
when you define depreciations area, if you want to, let's say, if you want to create another depreciations area, if you can, okay, double click on that. No, okay.
Which one you want? I mean, I'm not understanding.
Depreciations area. How do you define the depreciations area?
Here,
Where you
this is
can
the one.
select to post on the real time, or just take the value from the depreciations area one.
So you're saying this one?
Yeah,
Copy, delete depreciation areas?
go there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, if you can double click on 40, let's double click on 40.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. Here, I want to understand, like, value maintenance, like the third
This
one.
you
Yeah.
will understand. This you will understand at the time of posting the transaction. I will
Okay.
change here. I will change here. I mean, normally you can select all values. If at all you have positive values and zero values, it means negative values will not be considered in the case of extension. So we have something here that we can discuss at the time of
Okay. And because
transaction.
I was asked the questions in an interview, that said they asked me the questions like, can you depreciate below zero value?
No, we cannot. How can we do that?
Okay.
We cannot do that, right? We cannot do that. We can
In one of your video, you said yes.
negative values.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Suppose that.
Negative values in the sense. I mean,
Suppose like there is a, okay, you purchase the asset of $100. Now you
uh-huh.
took the depreciations. Now the value goes that below $100. I mean, you already depreciated for that $100.
Hmm.
You can still depreciate below like below zero.
How
Ba-
can you
b-
do that? I mean, that is not the case, right? We
because
should not do.
it is required, because at the time of the product costing, so that way you can get your product costing right.
No, when did I mention that part? You
I
can
think
do
that
by,
I saw one of your on a recording,
we
or
cannot do that.
maybe I have googled it, because that question asked me, so I immediately googled it. I think I read that article in the googles.
Right.
Well,
So
based on my own understanding, in my old workplace, there was where we wanted to post a negative uh, posting invoice. And what we did was we
Here,
went to AO21 to say allow only positive or negative allow posting
that's what.
allowed.
That is the
So
point over here.
there is
That
a
is
button.
what it is mentioned. Only
Well,
negative
well,
values are zero.
sometimes
Mhm.
sometimes you the first time when they wanted to do that, I went to click a button here, but it got posted, but it was not hitting the very account. So what we did was there's a A021 where you will click that exact asset class. Then in
A what
here,
21. A what 21.
AO21,
Yeah.
AO21, yeah.
Yes.
There's a button there that says negative posting, so you can tick. So that way, when it posts, then it get posted into account. So that
That
is
you can see. That you can see in the asset master as well. That is
correct,
fine.
correct.
But typically that should not be considered. If the asset value is 100, how can you depreciate until 120? You cannot delete. You cannot consider the depreciation until 120, right? You
okay.
can consider the depreciation until 100.
Okay, I think Nanda, what I will do, that if I find that article, I will send it to you,
Yes.
so that
Yes.
we can, all clear, what they are talking about. And this question asked me twice, with the different, interview.
but
So
we
yeah,
can take a challenge on that, if the
okay.
value of asset is $100, how can you take a depreciation of 120?
No, what logic they had given you, they given us that it says, because of the product costing. Because, suppose if you are doing, product costing of one particular product. Now,
Mhm,
if you are taking, that you assume that, okay, it's going to be depreciated for 10 years. So,
mhm.
in 11 years, you will not have any depreciations for that. So, that will affect your product costing. So, that's why they says, that you have to
No,
continue
I'm not
taking.
understanding. What is the effect on the product to costing? What is
Okay,
the effect of
I
that?
think, I save the document. I will send it to
Yeah,
you.
please send across that.
Sure, I will.
Yeah, we will discuss that. But
Sure.
probably on either on Saturday or Sunday, we will discuss that.
Okay, sure. All right.
Go through in the meantime.
Okay.
Probably, I may not get time tomorrow or day after. We will see. We will discuss it on Saturday.
Sure, no problem.
But we have an option, but I would recommend not to consider that at all. That's the
Okay.
challenge I can make. Okay,
Okay. All right.
that I'm pretty sure that it does not even impact the product costing. Anyways, whatever the document you have sent across that to me, I will
Okay.
go through that and we will discuss.
Okay.
So this configuration is something relating to that we will discuss during our front end while posting the transactions and all. Okay, so any other questions?
No.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks
And
a lot.
Nanda, you will be having a meeting tomorrow. So are we gonna have a class tomorrow or
Mostly we will not have, because I don't want you wait for the session, and
right?
I'm feeling little uneasy sometimes,
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
so let's skip it.
Okay.
I'm trying to come by 7:30 and start our session, but
Right.
sometimes it is getting delayed.
Right.
So I don't want,
Sure.
I don't want you guys to wait for
Sure.
that session.
So let's not to have a class tomorrow. Instead, can we have Friday or?
Friday we can have.
Okay, sure. All right.
We will be
Okay.
having
So
on
so
Friday.
it's better to discuss at this moment so everybody can at the same page.
Correct, correct. So we can have on Friday to day after tomorrow.
So no class tomorrow.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.